Howdy, folks. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm trying to be faithful to do a Sunday video, and hopefully I can at some point get through this. Anyway, it's been a long week. It's been a tough week, and I say that every week, but every week is here recently has been a tough week. So anyway, I got a new hat. Everything hurts. My wife and I went on a trip yesterday just to get out of town and spend some time together. We went to another mountain town that's about an hour away, and we like to get out and go burn a tank of gas and visit some town we've never really spending time in. So we did that yesterday, and just spent time, went to a coffee shop, and then went to a bakery where they had really homemade, everything was homemade from scratch. I mean, cheesecakes, brownies, cupcakes, you name it, any kind of sweet kind of baked good. It was so good. It was so good. It was, I shouldn't have indulged in all that, but whatever. And then antique stores and outdoor shop and little trinket shops. And I found this hat, and there's this outdoor store that's attached to, and there's a little trinket shop, real neat little trinket shop, kind of a hippie store, really, attached to the outdoor store. And so we went in there, and I saw that, and I was like, I gotta have that hat. So yeah, just splurging a little bit, and ended up driving way too long, way too far, and I'm paying the price in this broke down body, but that's okay. We'll sort through it. Ended up seeing the new doctor. I mentioned that in a previous video, and on last Monday, so a week ago. So tomorrow will be a week. And ended up getting 6 steroid shots, 2 in my shoulders and 4 in my upper back. So we're still trying to figure out how that's going to play out and how long that's going to last, and if I'm getting any relief from that. So they warned me. They said, you can't throw caution to the wind. You're going to have to be careful. And so I yesterday was to see how far I could push it, and I went way way overboard. So anyway, gotta learn the hard way, I guess. That's the only way I've ever learned anything, is the hard way. So that's that. So yeah, it was hard this morning to get to church, but we got to church. We've been going to this Anglican Episcopal church that's not too far away, and really enjoying it. I'm taking it slow. I'm taking number one. I'm taking any new church really slow. I mean, we were at that Anglican, the ACNA church for 4 months until it just became apparent that that's not where we needed to be. And then so we've been at this Anglican Episcopal church for a couple of months now, and they just started Old Fashioned Sunday School. Father is calling it that. So he's doing a series called Anglicanism 101, and it's basically church history. And he started back from, he's doing these broad swaths of history of Abraham and the Jewish synagogue, and Acts 2 and Acts 15 and Acts 17, and the early church and Polycarp, and then we covered this huge swath of time between that was pre-Nicaea. So that was good, and it's just interesting to just some of the questions and some of the conversations that were had in the class were fascinating, because you're able to see. I grew up in church. My mom thought it was important that we be at church any time the doors were open, even though I didn't really come to faith until I was in college. I mean, I know the culture. I know religious culture, church culture, that kind of thing. And so it's interesting to having this actually last couple of weeks running into people or hearing people talk that have no, even as an adult, have no knowledge or have any understanding of church life, church culture, spiritual life, anything. So I find that fascinating, and it's you realize that you can't take your spiritual knowledge or your Christian faith for granted, and thinking that everybody knows, because everybody doesn't know. And that's been obvious in the last couple of weeks, having run into different people and listening to different conversations. So that's fascinating. Maybe I'll talk about that at another point. But anyway, yesterday we ended up at a used bookstore. I got a stack of books. Can do some show and tell. I also bought some things from Amazon. So if you care and if you want to stick around for that, that's cool. It's really I don't have any. There's really no rhyme or reason. Really, I'll just show some books and tell some whatever comes to mind, stories or something. But ended up buying again the second time the Catechism of the Catholic Church. It's funny how Amazon is when you buy something and it says, "Oh, you bought this in 2009, or you bought this in 2012, or whatever it was," And I remember buying this. I remember the scandal of buying this as I was a pastor, evangelical pastor, and I remember buying this and trying to keep it hidden, trying to, like, I don't want people knowing I'm looking at the Catechism of the Catholic Church. I don't want anybody. I don't want the questions. I don't want the. I already had enough backlash of things I'd been reading. So anyway, it's kind of funny. But when I left ministry, I left all my books, and so I've been rebuying books. So it's funny when things come up, and I'll just, like this one, it's like, oh, I did buy this. I bought this, years ago. But anyway, I've got some things I want to study through here. I want to read it. I want to understand some of the doctrines and things that are in here. So just and what the reason I did that is because I've been reading Eucharistic Participation by Hans Boersma, he's actually a doctor, and he teaches at Nashotah House Seminary, and he's an ACNA priest, and he's really incredible book. And this has got me thinking. This is a couple of essays in here, a few essays maybe, about how we participate in the Eucharist, and he's brought up some points that I'm like, oh, I've never thought about that before. So I'm hoping that maybe I can do a video on that, on this book, and some of the things that I'm learning. But he's talking about sacramental time and how we reconfiguration of time and space, how that participation in the Eucharist is actually participating in the real sacrament and in the real sacrifice of Christ. And then he's even tying that to, like, typology of, like, Abraham and Isaac and the sacrifice of Isaac, and how that all plays together, and how we have this weird view of time, but sacramentally it's all connected in an eternal outside. Anyway, we can. So if it's given me a different understanding of the Eucharist, and so I wanted to really try to dig into Catholic theology when it comes to Eucharistic participation and the real presence, and their views of transubstantiation and so on and so forth. So anyway, I bought that. I found this at the used bookstore yesterday. It's it's a Psalter, the Book of Psalms, and this was the most expensive book I bought. It was like $5. Everything else was like 20 cents, 25 cents, or 50 cents. But this is really neat. This is it's got these great pictures, and it's illuminated. Isn't that what you call it? Illumination. but it's like, let's see here, like the different Psalms. It starts off, it's got these pictures starting, these like drop cap illuminated drop caps. I think that's what you call it, but it's really neat. It's really, really, really beautiful book. This is the King James text, which I'm really way okay with. I'm fine with the King James because that's what I grew up reading and what I prefer, actually. But yeah, all these neat pictures. So this is just the Psalms book. It's a Psalter that's beautifully done, like that. So yeah, so that, I think that's neat. That was really neat. Who's this published by? Henry Holt and Company, New York. This was given to Mother from Pam, Christmas, 1994. So I guess Mom didn't want it, or Mom passed away and they got rid of her stuff. I don't know. Anyway, the next thing I got, this is an Amazon purchase. I really thought I had bought this before. This is Saint Therese of Lisieux and Story of a Soul. And I really thought I have read this, and maybe I haven't. It's still got shrink wrap on it. I thought I'd bought this in the past. I don't know. I really think I've read this, but Amazon didn't say I did, so maybe it was something else. But anyway, excited to get to read this. I also downloaded the Hallow app, and the Hallow app actually has audiobooks, and you can actually there's a sister nun, can't remember her name, that's actually reading this, and so I listened to the introduction on that last night. So that's fantastic. What was this? 25 cents. Henry Nouwen. I'm never going to pass up a Nouwen book ever. So if I find them and they're 25 cents or 50 cents, I'm going to pick it up. So Life Signs. I have no idea what it's about. I just saw that it was Henry J.M. Nouwen, and I like Henry Nouwen. I always have. Even when I started reading Henry Nouwen, when I started reading Eugene Peterson, I think Eugene Peterson probably referenced Henry Nouwen, and I picked that up, and I ended up just loving things that Henry Nouwen was saying and writing, and that led me even to I'm trying to remember the name of that monk. He's a black friar. Can't think of his name offhand. Oh, that's another book for another video. But I found another copy of Way of the Pilgrim. This was I may have two copies of this. I didn't know. I knew I have one copy of it, but anyway, forward by Father Thomas Hopko of blessed memory, and so anyway, it's a good book. It's always good to have a copy. I don't know how much this book was. This was 50 cents. 50 cents for almost a brand new book. No writing in it. Real nice. Good one. I ended up also getting, I found a NIV that has pretty good print in it. I don't know if you can see that or not. It had really larger print. So this used to be Rachel P. Parker. I don't know who Rachel P. Parker was or is, but this was Rachel's Bible. But there's no writing in it. There's no markings in it. I don't think Rachel ever used it. But nonetheless, I now have a hard copy of the NIV, which is what I've been wanting one. So there's that. Red letter Zondervan. And this was from the used bookstore, and this was marked down from $2.50 to $1.50. So $1.50 for that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And I think this is the book that I probably should do a separate video on, and maybe I will. I'm going to do a separate video, and I'm going to upload 2 videos today. How's that? I'll show you the book, and then I'm going to talk about it. I've started reading it, but it's called The Martyrs of the Eucharist. Unbelievable, unbelievable book. Fascinating book. And I'm only a 6 chapters in. I'm going to make another video on that. But anyway, that's my little show and tell, kind of a life update, and I'll leave it at that. But anyway, thanks for being here, and I'll talk about some other things in the next video. All right, it's enough for now. Thanks. See you later.